everybody. This is Ronald Long with Talking Squirrels, a middle school ministry podcast. I'm so glad you are here, but most importantly, I'm so glad I've got Chris Hargrove here with me today, a buddy of mine who has hung out with me before, and super excited that we want to get some more conversations going about stuff that happens in the summer. Hey, Chris, just real quick, give everybody like a 30-second introduction of who you are so they don't have to go back and find the first episode we hung out with together.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So my name's Chris, and I am a middle school pastor here in Gainesville, Georgia. I've been doing that now for about 2 years here at Lakewood. But I am married. I've got a 2-year-old, and my wife and I just had another little girl, I guess, about a month ago. So we are back to like no sleep kind of zombie life, but still on our feet and taking every day one day at a time. But I love working with middle school students. Been doing that now, and it is great. Middle school students are one of a kind. So just happy to be serving at Lakewood Baptist Church in Gainesville, and just taking every week with middle school students, as you well know. You just never know what to expect.
Not at all. It is rather like having an infant and not knowing am I going to sleep tonight?
Yes.
Am I not going to sleep tonight? Yeah. Dude, congratulations on new baby. I saw some pictures on the socials. Right. That's so fun. But I wish you
baby, healthy mom. So
I wish you lots of sleep and lots of coffee.
Lots of coffee. Definitely got that down.
Oh man. So Chris, you and I were talking a little bit before about summer, and some people might not realize youth pastors do try to do a little bit of planning.
Just a little.
So we try to get good stuff done ahead of time.
Yep.
So you've been looking at your middle school summer planning, summer calendaring, and dude, I'd love to hear just a little bit about like what you guys do, how you plan stuff out, and what that kind of process looks for like for you guys.
Absolutely. So summer for us, across our whole student ministry is, it is packed. Like every week there's something going on. And a lot of that isn't like just student ministry, specific stuff. Like a lot of our students go serve with our kids ministry. And so that's very much a part of our summer ministry for our middle school and high school students. But, for us, man, we started planning our big summer events months ago, like kind of last fall, early this year, as far as camp dates, when we're doing camp, what our middle school mission trip's going to look like, and things like that. And so just now, over this past month, in the month of April, we've been working on some of our just lower, kind of low key events that are more in town. They certainly don't have the price tag of summer camp or a mission trip. And we're just trying to figure out what kind of low key events do we want to do for our students to help provide, relational connections, get them out of the house. Because as you well know, summer schedules for students are totally different. They're not stressed out about school. They're not worried about an exam. They don't care about having to look good for some boy or girl they're going to see the next morning. So our students are more relaxed, and we want to provide opportunities for our students to have fun over the summer.
And you guys, you said that you've got like a combination of camp and low key stuff. Like, what's your balance with that most of the time?
So probably like most student ministries, we do a summer camp. Ours this month is in July, and our camp this year kind of falls on a weird, like, it's not like a Monday through Friday. The camp we're going to, it starts on a Wednesday and we'll come back on a Sunday. So it's a little bit different, like timeline.
Okay.
And then for middle school, we do a middle school mission trip at the end of the summer every year. And for our middle school mission trip, we stay local. I love the one on your pod. I think it was your last podcast. You're talking about your how do you plan your teaching series, and you kind of do that around the vision of your church. The vision of our church is to make disciples of Jesus Christ locally, nationally, and globally. So for our middle school mission trip, we emphasize the locally part, and we stay local, like in our community for a week. Our students will spend the night at the church, and we'll do a mission trip, like serving our community. So those are our two big staples. Like we have
The,
those each summer,
the
and then we
summer
plan
camp, the summer camp, and the mission trip.
summer camp and a mission trip. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And this year, it's a little bit challenging because they both fall in July. Um, so July for middle school ministry is like it's crazy, but we're still going to do it all and have a lot of fun. It's going to be great, and so we try to balance like let's do some low key events. And so for us, like we live near a really big lake, and our lake's got a really cool water park. And our mission trip, since it's local, we're able to charge like $50, so it's really cheap. But
Wait, wait, wait. The whole thing is 50, for your mission trip is $50.
$50, it's
Don't
incredible.
tell my don't tell my church about that.
Well, our high school students, they've got one that's well over $1,000. So
Oh, okay, never mind.
there's a
We're
good
good. Yeah,
balance.
we're good.
Yeah, it's not like we're just paying for everything. But so for our local student or local events, there's like a water park we go to. Our students serve at Vacation Bible School for our children, and so we'll have 40 to 50 middle school students serving at that. So while they're already on campus, we'll take advantage of that and do something kind of after VBS around lunchtime for a couple hours. It's normally like some kind of mega relay or team oriented kind of thing. But all of our low key events over the summer, kind of our I guess heart behind them. It's not about having for us like the biggest number of students we've ever seen.
Yeah,
Um, we just want to provide a way for students to like come and have fun. Let's build into our atmosphere of community. Get some relationship stuff happening, and man, just have some fun, kind of outside of the summer, just the summer schedules that they have.
yeah. Because like you were saying, most of our students are not, they're not stressed about school. They're kind of
Yeah,
taking a more chill attitude. So I think it's worthwhile for us as a ministry to reflect that chillness, right? To
yep,
kind of
for sure.
to chill a little bit too. We take a little bit of a break. I love what you're saying about the VBS stuff after hangout because we do the same thing. We really encourage our students to serve a VBS, and actually,
Oh, yeah.
if they go on a mission trip with us, they have to. Like we require that.
Mm, that's cool.
Um, but the piece about hanging out afterwards is something that we haven't done like in the past. Like you said, you've got like a mega relay. Like you plan it out. You don't just go eat lunch. Like you have something like that you've planned and you've got ready for them
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah, and that I mean, and for us, kind of the philosophy is they're already here, like they're already on our campus.
Yeah.
So for us, it naturally makes sense to do something that week, and they're already here. All they have to do, we'll provide lunch. I don't think we even charge for that event.
For the lunch.
Yeah, I just think we just bite the let our budget eat it, and they just stay after church and have fun. And there's a little bit of downtime on the front end for them to just hang out in our student center and just talk and relax. But then we'll go down. We have like a soccer field where we'll go um, just play different mega relay games and water games and things like that. But we try to, as we're like this month, our student ministry staff and our small group leaders and all that, we're trying to plan our summer and these low key events. We really do try to prioritize them to have ways to create and build into relationships. And we've asked our student leadership team, like, hey, what do y'all want to do this summer? What would be something fun for you and your friends to come be a part of here at church? And so they help give like good input because we could, yeah, as adults, sit around and think of ideas. And would they go over well? Probably. But for a student to say, no, I think me and my friends, we'd love to come up and do this and this and this, and it's really nothing like too crazy of an idea. So we love to get our students to buy into that, and then we love to get our small group leaders. So for summer we take off on our we stop meeting for our weekly programming. We take Wednesday nights off,
Yeah.
but we still want our small group leaders like fully present the best we can. So as we're planning these events, we'll certainly ask, hey, small group leaders, come be part of this. You don't have like an official role, just come and hang out and give high fives. And if there's games, like make sure you beat your students in the game and put them in their place.
No, I love that you include not only students but small group leaders in your planning. Like that's great stuff because
Yeah.
I would like I we typically with our staff, we sit around and we plan it. We go, okay, this would be fun, and then we put it on the calendar. I don't know if we get
Hmm.
enough feedback from leaders and students. What have been some challenges from that you've gotten, and what have been some really great takeaways? You said like sometimes they suggest something that's low key, but you wouldn't have thought of it. What maybe have been some challenges about including all those people in your planning?
Yeah, so sometimes with and as you and many if you're a youth worker, youth pastor, students sometimes have to be kind of reeled back in on their ideas. Um, but in our area, so we're not far from like Six Flags, and to be totally honest, like the thought of going to Six Flags in the middle of the summer to me is just torture. And so it comes up
Agreed.
like every year. Comes up every year. Let's go to Six Flags in the middle of the summer, and I'm like, no, like let's not, because it's going to be
Maybe let's
hot,
not.
and yeah, well, and that's like an all day. That's literally an all day thing. So our low key
You
events,
gotta make
they're
it
not
worth it.
they're not like a full do what?
You got to make it worth it because it's like $50 a
Oh
pop,
yeah,
right? So you don't
yes.
want to go
Oh
for
yeah.
2 hours.
No. So like our low key events, they're not like a literally 10-hour a day kind of thing either. So we try to balance that. I mean, parents are still working and things like that, so we don't want to take up a full day. But with our students, we want them to make sure whatever we do, there's going to be opportunities for them to just engage and talk with other students, and so we try to do things that aren't kind of too boxed in, that provide some a little bit of downtime and different opportunities. But it is fun. You never know like what they're going to say. I mean, other ideas they've thrown out like whitewater rafting. Just going to someone who lives on the lake and hanging out at their house and things like that. But
Yeah, we've got a river close to us that like my wife and I have been floating down. I kind of like am concerned about floating with 50 middle schoolers down a river.
yes,
I've done it. I've done it once, but like I feared for my and their lives the whole time.
yep,
Dude,
yep,
I really do like that idea of bringing in more people to plan because even though you're planning these, like you said, low key events, like, and even though probably for you have less attendance during the summer than you
yeah.
do during fall, and for us, I literally have a student who said, "Ronald, I'm leaving June 1st. I'm going to come back August 15th." Like, oh, okay. Like, I'll
Yeah,
have a great summer. I'll see you when you're an eighth grader. And so like
yep,
so you got fewer students who are coming, but if the few students that you have are buying in to like the low key stuff, I feel like that's going to be a
mm.
win for you guys. It's going to be a really great opportunity. And like,
And we're okay with the smaller, we're okay with a smaller attendance, because just I mean, students, families travel, they go on vacation. There's other stuff going on in the church, and our
yeah,
events aren't intended, to have to rent 5 charter buses or whatever. We just it's kind of like whoever shows up is who shows up, and we're good with that.
dude, yeah, that's some great stuff. So, and then compacting like your what you've been saying about planning for summer, have your big tentpole events. So like your mission trip, your summer
Yep.
camp, you even like come alongside the church and what the church is doing for their events. So you guys are supplementing VBS by making sure, hey, go work VBS and come afterwards, and we're gonna have
Yep.
fun.
Yep.
So do those two things, but also, hey, have some low key stuff that students and
Yeah.
leaders plan. You've got some buy in from them. You don't have to do all the heavy lifting yourself. Dude, that sounds like a great way to plan a summer.
Yeah, it's good, and one other like cool thing that we do every summer, and is we just evaluate. We'll get some of our leaders and our staff, and we'll debrief events. We talk about what works, what was a flop, what needs to go away, and we'll just kind of review things. And one of the things that I love when we review is we celebrate. We celebrate what God has done through our students and through our small group leaders, and it kind of refreshes you, I guess, if you will, reminds you of, hey, what you're doing is worth it. You may not see the immediate results like that night or that weekend, but you can look at just where students have come from 6 months ago to today. So we love to just celebrate, and it's not not just about the numbers. If there's numerical growth or things like that, but we celebrate having first time guests or hearing about how a student stood up for a friend at school, and all these things. So we love over the summer, we love to, in the middle of all of our events, we love to just take time and just kind of evaluate and pause and kind of reflect on how the past year went. Because that helps us as we're preparing like to move forward, to kind of know where we're at, what we're doing, and then just to pause in the middle of our busy summer to think about what do we need to do next year.
Dude, that debrief is key. I love that. I love that element of it. I know we like our ministry needs to do better at that. But in that, I love the celebration piece where you're
Oh
saying,
yeah, yep,
let's
that's
make
the
sure we
highlight.
celebrate what worked.
Yep, that's the highlight.
Dude, I feel like that's some really good tips for somebody listening and saying, okay, I'm getting ready. Spring is here. I'm planning my summer. What are
Yeah,
some things that I need to do? Chris, that's some good wisdom, man. I appreciate you hanging out and sharing that with us.
dude, appreciate you, man.
Hey, Chris, where can people find you on the Instas and the Twitters and the things like that?
I've actually got rid of them all, and I'm back on MySpace. So I'd love for
Really?
you to check that out. No, I am on Instagram and Twitter, and
Oh,
Facebook, and it's at Hargrove Chris. So I'd love for you to connect with me, and love to chat about summer stuff or anything else going on in your ministry world.
dude, appreciate you and what you're doing out there in Georgia, man.
Yep, back at you.
All right. Hey, we'll talk to you later, okay? Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Like, subscribe, do all the internet stuff. Y'all are fantastic. We'll talk to you next week.